get in. Let's give them 5 minutes to start. So this is the orientation session for AIM Batch 1, right? Batch 2, sorry. I'm just a little fiddling with this cable. Okay, so most of you here are people who have joined. There are some of you who have come to take a look at what will happen in the next 12, 13 months for this program, right? So I'll introduce myself. Some of you know me, some of you don't know me. My name is Asif. I've been working in this segment for more than 10 years now. We have conducted more than 9 years of mains test series. Started mentorship more or less in 2016. So now mentor has become a very common word, right? Everybody is a mentor, right? But I think we were some of the pioneers in doing this. And the idea behind this program is that when we started test series over the years, it was working very well in the earlier years. It was doing justice to people. People were able to improve. People were consistent. But if you look at the last 1 or 2 years, what we are noticing is that consistency has gone really low with respect to full year test series, especially the ones where your commitment towards a program is only happening weekly once. And engagement ratios were significantly dipping after the first month. I have constantly equated full year test series with gym membership, right? I think I have the honors to speak about gyms, right? So you start with a very high intention, you go consistently, but then you, after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you disappear, right? So this was happening, so it was not delivering the desired results. And one of the conclusions that we came in was that the commitment towards a program or the deliverables in the program was only weekly once. And that commitment was only 2 hours a week or 3 hours a week, not more than that. So this was making it very easy to, postpone, because it always feels like, this is a 2 hour, 3 hour, which I can catch up some other time. Maybe next week I can write 2 tests in a week. Third week I can write 3 tests a week. And it was not working. And last few years we have also started noticing 2 things. People who get good ranks have good notes. And people who are not able to write good answers don't have good notes. People who are not able to clear prelims don't have good notes. And note making has become a very integral part of this preparation. And almost all students who are part of the foundation program, in that 8 months or 10 months of foundation, are not able to make concise notes, right? You have running notes, and students who are doing self-study also need not necessarily have notes. And even if they don't have the right type of notes, or they don't have for all subjects or for all areas. So this was also another gap that we identified, that if you have notes, you can revise. If you have notes, you can update, you can consolidate. Because if, let's say that you have 1 round of base notes done, it's always easier to update those notes than start from something from scratch. So notes was one area that we felt that there is a gap, and we need to create something for note making. Answer writing was happening through mains test series. But what was happening is that you have a weekly commitment. So we consolidated a daily target, which will culminate in a weekly test. so that every day you are expected to do something. And especially when you have a lot of time, especially after you have completed foundation, staying consistent, staying motivated, staying driven is very difficult. How many of you have appeared for prelims? Everybody has appeared for prelims. So since you're sitting here, I'm assuming that none of you have cleared prelims this year, right? And prelims has also been dicey, and CSAT has been tricky. So we wanted to include all these things into one program where you can, consolidate your preparation around this, right? So we decided to come up with something that will take care of your GS and essay. Optional is on your own because there is a diversity, there is a law, there is PSIR. It's way too much, and it's very difficult for us to do something for that. But GS and essay is something that we wanted to delve into this particular program, right? So if I'm looking at the pillars of this program, I think I'll say notes is one of the most important pillar of this program, and that is what we are expecting you to put more and more effort. I'm briefly explaining the program, and I'm also telling you what challenges you will face and how some of the people of the batch 1 overcame those challenges, right? This is batch 2. So you are aware that this is the first year that we have launched this program. So the batch 1 was a pilot. Batch 2 is an improvement over batch 1, because we have also learned a lot in the last 2-3 months, right? We have seen a lot of assignments, how people are doing it, what challenges may arise. We have all the videos ready, we have all the solutions ready. We have, in fact, in batch 1, we did have certain delays in uploading certain things. We will not have that challenge in batch 2 because all these things are ready, right? I'll come to the timelines of things when each of these things will be ready. So we are expecting you to develop 2 types of notes. We are expecting you to develop short notes and value addition notes. And this is how the workbooks have been designed. You will be getting a copy of the workbook. Offline workbooks can be collected day after tomorrow. Yesterday, a set of workbooks came, but they printed the last batch's workbook again. So there was a mix-up from the printer side. We were expecting to provide you today, but unfortunately, the printer printed the wrong set of books, right? So we are expecting it tomorrow, and you can collect it on Sunday, right? So this is a workbook, right? This is what we are expecting you to work with. Some of you have seen this. Some of you are seeing this for the first time. What we're basically expecting you to do is that we have given you a daily syllabus target, and from that syllabus target, we have asked 4 or 5 open-ended questions, right? In these open-ended questions, we are expecting that there is a syllabus target for the day. First day is historical underpinnings, evolution, salient features, right? This is day 1 target. What we are expecting you to do with respect to this syllabus target is that we are expecting you to read this particular syllabus area from the standard sources. Here our primary source would be Lakshmikant, right? And then you will solve 5 or 6 questions. 80% of time, it's 5 questions per day, right? There are some instances where we have accommodated 6. I'll also tell you how we have accommodated a program which started in June to be started in August. The batch which started in June had Saturdays off, right? It was Monday to Friday assignments, Saturdays off, and then Sunday test. In your batch, if you have noticed, we have Monday to Saturday assignments. There's no break. So this makes it even more difficult than batch 1, right? Because these guys had 1 day off, 1 day to consolidate, to cover up whatever they are missing out. So in your case, it becomes even more important to consistently finish whatever is being provided on a daily basis. Believe me, it is going to be very difficult in the first few days. Like cultivating any habit, it will have its withdrawal symptoms, it will have its attrition, everything in the first few weeks. But if you're able to pull yourself through in the first 3 weeks, take it from me, your consistency level will be significantly better. We are already seeing very good correlation between people who are able to do assignments and their test scores. We are able to see that people who are consistent have, now this is a workbook of a student. In fact, we had 80 people complete polity workbook. I don't know anyone was aware of this. We had a session last week where in batch 1, 80 students completed, and this is out of 400 plus. So that's 20% of the people completed 250 pages of polity notes. And that's quite something, because when I promised a reward for this, everyone who completes this workbook, I was expecting 20, 25 people to, honestly, this was what was my expectation. But 80 people completed, and the constant feedback we are getting from people who are able to complete this workbook is that some are very, what do you call, abstract. Somebody came and said that, you know, anyone puts a paper, I can solve any question on polity now. Because when you cover 200 themes from polity, The weightage of polity is what? 125 marks, right? That's 10 questions at max. And if you're able to cover 20 times that themes, you're more or less covering everything possible around it. Can there be questions in UPSC which will be outside of it? Yes, it's possible. But majority of questions, and I think we can test this hypothesis by looking at this year's mains paper. You will have this year's mains paper in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, we will have this paper. And then you can compare your polity workbook, because by the time the mains paper happens, you would have completed 3 weeks of polity. You can compare your AIM polity workbook vis-a-vis this year's mains paper and see how well you are prepared. And you'll be surprised you will be much better prepared than many people who are appearing for mains, right? Because one thing that we noticed this year when this happened, people qualified for prelims. In fact, I think there are more than 50% people who are writing mains for the first time. CSAT had a serious drawback on people who were senior aspirants who could not qualify prelims because of CSAT, right? So a significant number of people who are coming are not prepared to write here, mains this year. And when we are pitching AIM, one of the things that we want you to think about is, next year you're clearing prelims. What level of preparation for mains are you expecting from yourself? And there's no guarantee that if you clear prelims next year, next to next year you will clear prelims, because every year is a dicey year. Every year you have rank holders, service candidates not clearing prelims. So it has become increasingly difficult to clear prelims. But the year you clear prelims, we would have pushed you to write more than 1,200 themes. And I think that would be substantially more than majority of people, maybe more than 99% of people who are peer preparing with you, right? Because as of now, I don't think there are many options like this to do what we are expecting you to do, right? So in the assignment workbook, what is happening is that we have a daily target, 5-6 questions, and every day there is a syllabus target. So we are expecting you to cover this from your standard sources. We are expecting you to cover this from your notes, maybe your coaching institute notes or whatever, and then bring it down to here. Now, we will only provide you the solution every Wednesday and every Saturday. We will not provide you on the same day despite having it, because we want you to research and write. Because if you're just copying and putting it, you will not engage in critical thinking, or you will not engage in research, and then you will not be able to learn what you're doing, right? So despite having the solutions, we will not provide you the solutions before end of day Wednesday. For the first 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we will give it to you at 5 o'clock on Wednesday. And video also we'll give. Every question has a video. So wherever, maybe some questions you're fine with developing the notes, maybe some questions you would want some kind of reference point to look at. So these videos will also be provided to you on Wednesday so that you can cross-refer and update. And what I want you to do is that when you are engaging in research, it's quite possible that you will come up with the dimensions that we have not thought of. There may be some things which is, because most of these questions are open-ended questions. These questions are designed to develop notes, and these questions are not designed to, write answers. So this is not in an IBC format, intro, body, conclusion. It should be a note-making format. You should always imagine having this notebook in your hand half an hour before getting into the exam center, something that you can scroll through, right? So this also has been segmented into daily targets, and every week we have put a value addition space. Now for your batch, what we have done is that we have moved all the value addition pages to the last 10 pages. Your value addition will be the last 10 pages. So here you will have all the data points and all judgments, all articles, all examples in 10 pages. This will be your short notes. Maybe this is something that you can revise 10 times. I assume that the amount of time it will take to revise something like this is 5-6 days. And this 10 pages, which will be there in the end of every book, will be your value addition notes for each subject. And this, believe me, you can revise 100 times, maybe 200 times, 300 times, and this is going to internalize in you, right? You need the arguments, you need the substantiation. This will be your argument, this will be a substantiation, which you will read multiple times. I'll just show you some of these assignments. These are some assignments of some students, right? People are using color codes. People are consolidating things into it. And the first week, most likely it will take you more time than you expect because you have not done something like this before. First week, it will be much more difficult. It will be like if I'm a smoker and I want to stop smoking, it's always the first 2 weeks which is very difficult to do, right? So if you're sitting here, I'm assuming that you're sitting here because either you have not been able to have a very disciplined preparation or a consistent preparation. Mostly it's sporadic, right? There will be days when you're doing really good, and then there'll be a couple of days when you're low, right? So here we are expecting you to move to a 5 hours daily commitment. So the initial days would be extremely difficult, and you will not be able to do each of these questions in 1 hour. We had circulated 3 feedback forms in batch 1. And one question that was constant was that how much time is it taking for you to solve assignment questions? Initially it was 1.5 hours, 1 hour, and later it is almost 45 minutes for most of the students. And this will also vary from subject to subject. Maybe polity will take more time, art and culture will take more time, but most likely modern history and geography will take lesser time because the questions has lesser dimensions and lesser paths to it, and mostly diagrammatic in nature, right? So you will see variations in this. I'll show you some more of this. This is a geography workbook. So an added advantage that we have for batch 2 is that for every assignment that you're writing, we have great samples to show you how it will be done. In batch 1, we did have samples for batch 1 also. That was samples written by our mentors. We hired the mentors for the program in February, and we made them write all the assignments first. That was the first task that we gave them, right? So they have gone through it, they have done it, because I don't want a situation where you go to a mentor and they are not aware exactly what you're supposed to do, right? So they have done this. So we will have samples for all the assignments, we'll have videos for all the assignments, we will have solutions for all the assignments. The only thing you have to do is that pull yourself, sit and do this. Just do this. Because by January end, we will make you write 1,200 themes. Have you imagined the kind of preparation that will be involved in that, right? So notes, short notes, right, which will be 2 pages per theme. Don't limit yourself to the dimensions that has been explored in the question. I don't mind you going beyond the dimension and looking at that particular question as a theme. Include the content that is related to that theme in those 2 pages. So you can always think that, if it's a federalism related question, think of what kind of introduction conclusions can you use on any question on federalism, so that when you come back and revise, it is in one place. When you have this book done, and I think I'll announce that also this time for this batch also, anybody who completes this workbook will have a special gift, right, in 4 weeks. We really want to push you guys to do this. So if you consider getting a reward as a motivation, consider that if you are able to finish polity workbook, and this is extremely difficult. I am assuming only 20% of this class will be able to do what I'm expecting them to do. I have a bet with the team also that, initial engagement will be 70%. There will be 30 people in this room who will not even start, who would have paid the fees but would not start. Every year in every program, even in foundation, there would be students who join but do not attend classes. So don't be in that 30%, don't be in that 50% who will not complete these workbooks. Push yourself. This is your last. Consider it as a last chance. I'm sure many of you have more attempts than this. But when you complete this program, I want you to have the confidence that I have done everything I could. I have worked as hard as I could. I have made notes. I have made written answers. I have solved questions. Everything has to be done. Whether you'll clear or not, nobody knows, right? But at least we should have the conviction that we have done everything we could. My last mains was in 2012. I remember between prelims and mains, I watched entire season of Suits. How many of you have seen this? Right. So we all do these kind of things. So I'm a product of what I could not do, right? When I'm standing here, most of the crap that you have done, I've done myself, right? I know how these things work, right? It's very easy to stand on a stage and tell these things, but unlike you guys, we did not have platforms like this. We did not have test series. The first set of answers that we wrote was in the UPSC examination hall. Now test series has become a very integral part of your preparation. Now this is evolving. Believe me, in 2 years you will have a lot of programs like this which will be pushing people throughout the year to write answers, write notes, and do things, right? This will become a part of the ecosystem now, right? So we will have short notes, we will have value addition notes. Value addition notes is all your data points, all your examples, all your codes, all your, current related context, everything into 10 pages or 15 pages in each book, so that you can go back and you can revise as many times as possible. This is, don't look at it from now. Every day won't make sense. At least the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks won't make sense. You'll feel like I can't do my optional. Most likely the first 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you will not have time for optionals because you would not have developed a pace at which you can complete this in 4 to 5 hours. Our ideal expectation is 4 to 5 hours, but initially we are expecting that you will have to push yourself for 6 to 7 hours to do this because you're doing it for the first time, and it'll be difficult. And one more pattern that we are seeing, the earlier pattern I mentioned was that there's a direct correlation between people who complete assignments and people who score well in the tests. Another correlation that we see is that people who create backlogs will have backlogs and it'll pile up, right? So don't forgive yourself, don't force yourself to come up with this idea in your head that, I'll do this tomorrow, I'll do this next week. Whatever is the target, when you get up in the morning, by end of the day, you finish it. We'll discuss about how to break your day into different time slots and how to go about with this. We'll discuss some ideas around that also. But your daily commitment should be that, if I'm starting my day today, I will finish this by end of day. And it's not a lot, right? It's 5 questions. It's open book. It's researched. If you can't do this, you are not a serious aspirant. I'm someone who can vouch for the kind of competition that comes for this examination because this year we have 160 rank holders writing our mains test series who are already in service. We have almost 5 people who are in the top 100 ranks who are writing with us. And you're going to fight with them next year. How many people have gone for mains this year? 14,600? Out of this, only 2,500, 3,000 will be called for interview. Rest of them will be preparing for prelims from, let's say, December, January. And that will be your serious crowd. And from that 2,500 also who is going to mains, there will only be 1,000 people who are getting ranks and only 200 people who are satisfied with their ranks. So from that 2,500 also, you're going to see another 1,500 people come back and write this exam. So next year, your fight is already with 10, 12,000 people who have mains experience, people who have confidence of having appeared for an interview, people who have achieved a rank, who's looking for a rank improvement. So unfortunately, this exam has become very, very tough. The standards have gone higher and higher. If you want to do an exercise, go back and look at good copies of toppers in 2018-19. You're writing better answers today. Even people who are not appearing for mains. The standards have gone significantly high. Because there's a program for everything. There is a different types of material. There are material which is just data points. People are mugging. People are writing. An average student is writing at least 25, 30 full papers before they are appearing for mains, between prelims and mains. I know people who are writing 50 papers, who are writing this many papers before mains. And you will be among those people who will be writing 50, 60 papers before you are writing mains in 2024. You would have written on everything possible. You would have revised on everything possible. So just believe us with respect to the process that we have set. Success is not an outcome of motivation. It's an outcome of systems that's been created. Just believe in the system. Just stick to the daily targets. Just keep pushing yourself that, those 5 questions or 6 questions are completed on a daily basis. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be extremely difficult because you have not done anything like this. And 6 hours is a lot of time. And that's 6 hours of work, right? If you have to get 6 hours of work, you'll have to sit for 7, 8. Only then you will get 6, right? We'll discuss about that. So we have notes and value addition notes, right? This will be concise. So we are expecting you to fortify your notes. We are expecting you to concise your notes. We are expecting you to update your notes. There may be some of you who have been started your preparation 2 years, 3 years, 4 years ago, right? I have met some people who have come for AIM inquiry who have appeared for mains in 2019, 20. Now, one challenge that people who have appeared 3 years, 4 years ago for the examination is that the redundancy of their content would be high. They would be most likely writing things that they learned in 18, 19, 20. And updation of content is also something that will happen here. Because when you're sitting down to concise your notes into 2 pages, 3 pages, you will look at what are the standard sources, you look at the internet, you look at the solution that we have provided, you look at the video. So definitely whatever you write in this book will be an updated version of your understanding from when you have done your foundation. And that is also very important. So this will happen, short notes, value addition notes, right? Next, answer writing, right? So here what we are doing is that every week we have a assessment test, right? Assessment test is a 10-question test that happens at the end of the week, which will have the syllabus of whatever has been completed from Monday to Saturday, right? We used to say Friday for the first batch, but unfortunately for you, it's Monday to Saturday. It's 6 days of work, right? So assessment test will be 10 questions, and these questions will be difficult. These questions will include PYQs. These questions will be UPSC standard, right? Your assignment questions are open-ended. The purpose of these questions is to generate content, to develop notes. The assessment test is to apply the concepts and extract content from you and to understand your awareness, right? Here we will be following the IBC format. Here we will be following the answer writing mode. Initially, don't time bound yourself. Write in as much time as it is possible. We have to learn how to write good answers, then we'll learn how to do it in time, right? So first we have to decide. We'll have a detailed session on answer writing tomorrow, right? And there we will discuss about all the ideas regarding answer writing, because we are expecting you to write your first assessment test from this Sunday itself, right? So we'll have a session around that as well, right? So we will have assessment tests, and every time a subject is completed, we will have a revision test, right? This will be 20 questions. This will also cover themes that has been covered across the syllabus. And we also have surprise tests, right? We had a surprise test. We called all these people for the felicitation of people who completed the polity workbook, and we gave them a surprise test, right? So you can also expect randomly surprise tests coming. The idea is to help you go back to topics which you have covered in an earlier point of time so that you can revise and write. So maybe for you, we will use this year's mains question paper as a surprise test for polity. We will see how you're able to spare with those kind of questions, right? So this is happening with respect to the mains part. With respect to the prelims part, the MCQs, we have a test happening every Sunday, right? These are 50-question tests, out of which 10 questions will be current affairs, and 40 questions will be related to the syllabus of that week. And there also we will be covering themes which has been covered in the week, and we'll also include PYQs of prelims from those topic areas in those 40 questions. So this will happen on a weekly basis. There is something that has not been mentioned in the brochure that we'll be doing. We will start CSAT from November. We'll start CSAT test every week from November, because August, September, October, we are covering prelims mains overlapping topics. So we will have a prelims-oriented MCQ test at the end of the week. From November, we won't have prelims mains overlapping topic. We are having mains exclusive topics: ethics, society, IR, social justice, these kind of topics. So there we are going to include a CSAT test, right? And from the month of February, we have every alternate day, we have tests for prelims. Because somebody who grinds till January on this and develops notes for all these subjects, if we can make 100 people clear prelims, I'm sure that's 25 ranks. And that's a massive number. I cannot ensure everybody will clear, but there's a possibility that 25% of those people who are able to clear prelims will definitely get a rank. There's something CMD sir said that, you know, the rank one, the top 10 ranks should come from this program, because that's the kind of grind that we're going to put you through, right? So we're going to give you 50 questions, CSAT, alternate days tests at that point of time. These tests will have solutions. These tests will have rank list. There won't be discussions for these tests at this phase, but in phase from February, we will have discussions also provided for the prelims, because here emphasis is on note making, answer writing, and what do you call content building, right? Every week you can expect 14 hours of 12 to 14 hours of videos. You watch what you have to watch. You don't have to watch everything, but if you're dealing with a particular question and you feel that, you know, I could use with a video content, then you go and watch this particular area, right? So this is the answer writing, the MCQ. Then over and above this, we have a weekly current affairs classes, right? We have current affairs for prelims. We have an essay every month, right? So by the time you write mains, you would have written at least 10, 15 essays also, right? Post prelims, we have all our senior faculties engaging. We have essay guidance by Ruchika ma'am. Post prelims, we have ethics enhancer by Pati sir. We have mains advanced course. We have 8 GS full-length tests. We have 5 essay tests. All these things will happen from June to September, right? Whether you clear prelims or not, that doesn't matter, but we will engage you in mains respective preparation between June to September. But our goal will be fully to make you clear prelims from January to June. We will try everything possible. We have already thought of some innovative ideas which has not been tested in this segment yet. We are dedicating next 3-4 months researching on how to help you clear prelims. Like we really want to work on that also, right? So all these things are also included, right? So the challenge is that you may not have time for a lot of other things. Recently a student came and said that, sirf aim hi chal raha hai. Nothing else is happening. But I think it's a good thing because you have some kind of accountability and some kind of thing that keeps you driving, right? See, if you look at the challenges that you will face in this program, most likely there will be an inertia to start, right? You're all enthusiastic. The easiest part in any course is paying the fees. You swipe a card, you transfer the money, you pay the cash, it's done. It's very easy. It may be difficult to get that money, but the process to enroll in a course is very easy. But once you enroll, to fulfill the daily commitments, it's going to be extremely difficult. I had a student in 2019 or 20. The guy initially ended up with rank 170, then he improved to rank 24 or something. Currently, he's a IAS officer based out of UP, right? He said something very interesting that, he was working in RBI when he was appearing for the test series with us, right? And he said that he had kept a bet with his roommate. For every test he misses, he'll pay his roommate 10,000 rupees. That's a very strong nudge, right? Because you need really strong nudges that will force you to do it, right? It's not about perfection, it is about trying again and again and doing the processes again and again. Maybe you're not doing it right the first time around, but the more you keep doing it, it's definitely going to improve. But you need to have some kind of a strong mechanism, compulsion. So if you have a small peer group, let's say like the microfinance model, right? There's a co-guarantee kind of arrangement where there are a group of 4 people who's accountable to the other 3, right? So create some kind of mechanisms because you will falter, you will delay, it's going to happen. Irrespective of how motivated you are, it's not going to be practical for you to consistently do this. So create mechanisms, processes which will ensure that you will have some kind of accountability. I'll also explain how our mentors will work, right? What you can expect from the mentors and what you could not expect from the mentors, right? So all the assignments will be reviewed, right? The idea of review is to align yourself to the expectation of the question and theme and make sure that you are covering all the topics which is covered. So what happens in the review is that the first 2-3 weeks, the reviews will be very intensive because we have to align you with what is our expectation. So to review this, the mentors will show you better or good practices that has been followed with respect to assignments. They will look at the answers, they'll read it, and they'll tell you what to do, what not to do, etc. Right? Assessment tests will be evaluated, right? It will be checked like a mains test series paper. There will be a rank list also for that. There will be a mentorship also for that on how to write better answers, right? This is how there's a difference between assignments and assessments, right? So we will expect you to write assignments, assessments, and I was talking about something else before this. What did I start with? Mentors. What would the mentors do, right? So the mentors will do this. And we have an extremely active Telegram group, right? A couple of things that we are doing in the Telegram group is that every day morning, for the questions that you're going to write on that day, an approach will be provided. I'll just show you samples of approach. These are discussions, sorry. This is a kind of a, I don't know how to zoom this. Yeah. So we have a poll kind of system where we will run polls within the group, how many people have completed. So we are expecting this will create a peer pressure. When you see 4 other people have completed, you will probably get motivated that I should also do. If others are able to do, I'll be able to do this. So we will regularly have polls on a daily basis and weekly basis asking who all have completed, who all have not completed. we will share good practices within your group in the Telegram channel, right? Showing how others are doing, so you can probably get motivated to approach the same way. We will have what you call regular Zoom sessions with the mentors who will discuss general approaches that will be common for all the students. We will have what you call polls on what are the challenges that is being faced. We will have regular follow-up calls. One request that I have is that when we are creating the Telegram group, identify yourself to the mentors, because the settings of Telegram is such that many usernames are anonymous. If we can't verify you, we will remove you. Because many students say that we can't share our identity, but you're part of a closed group, which is part of a program. So when you're joining this, because when we are inviting people, we share the link. And it's quite possible that somebody else can also join the group with the same link. And if we are not able to verify whether you're a student of this program or not, it'll be difficult for us to further proceed there. So whenever a mentor requests you for verifying yourself on the particular group, please provide your identity so that you can map. And for the first week, set your privacy settings such that we can add you to the group. There are privacy settings in Telegrams which will not be practical for us to add you to the group. So for the next 1 week, we are expecting to create the Telegram groups tomorrow, because a lot of people are planning to join today, tomorrow. So we are just waiting for a consolidation of the numbers. We will be looking at a right combination of online versus offline. We'll be looking at a right combination of optionals wherever possible. If we are able to align the optional of the mentor and to your optional as much as possible, we'll do that also. We don't have students who have, let's say, agriculture, or mentors who have agriculture or veterinary science or Malayalam literature. We don't have all those subjects. But we do have sociology, anthropology, pol science. We have the major subjects. So wherever possible, we'll align with the mentor, right? I'll show you some more. Guidelines for we provide guidelines for each day's question, right? How to approach each of those questions. So you have a head start on how to go about, right? So we'll handhold, we will spoon feed, we'll stuff the spoon through your throat, right? We'll do as much as we can, but you will have to do the rest of it, right? I don't think anybody or any program will do more than this. This is the maximum that we can think of. We have devised everything that we can do with respect to this program, but we can only take you to the water, right? You're the people who have to drink. You have to do this, right? If you do this, we are confident it will have a significant impact on this, right? Now, other than this, workbooks you can collect day after tomorrow, right? This is the AIM calendar, right? Some of you may have seen. This is aligned with your schedule. So this is starting here, orientation sessions. So this is something that you can use to map your progress. Keep ticking whatever you're doing. Keep entering the marks of your prelims and mains tests so that you have the batch 1 calendar probably gave us 100 admissions in batch 2, right? Because people were seeing this and they were getting this FOMO factor that, what is this guy doing that I am not doing? And these workbooks have also become popular that people are sitting and writing it down. So you can follow the calendar, right? We have provided a cliche thing. These are the workbooks, right? You'll get it tomorrow. There will be a detailed syllabus book, which is a micro-topic listing. And there will also be what do you call, QCAP book, right? Students who are writing it from not here. We also provided a cliche sticker, right? It's do not disturb, aim in progress, right? Right. So we will do all the things that we can, right? What have I missed? Components of why AIM. We have talked about what is the AIM program. Any doubts on what is communicated so far, right?
So for CSAT, do we need to prepare, do we have to be prepared a little beforehand before entering the test?
See, we are giving a cold start in November. Normally people would start CSAT in January, February. Normally people will write essays between prelims and mains. So we are giving you a head start, right? Are you expected to be prepared? I think we will start with lighter questions which will align you to the exam demands. We'll share a detailed syllabus of that also probably in a month. We'll have a clarity on that. But see, expecting you to prepare for CSAT after giving you 6 days of targets of assignments would be difficult. Maybe you can go and engage in the process of practicing CSAT questions and identify where you're weak, where you're good at, and maybe working on top of that, right?
So the videos that will be provided to us, are those videos related to the themes or to particular questions?
Particular questions, but they would have covered those themes extensively. Most of the videos are 30-45 minutes, each video, right? So they have extensively covered the content in those areas, right? So we'll definitely give the solution and video only 1 or 2 days ahead because we want you to research and write. Definitely. I think you should update yourself, but the standard sources and we are also providing value addition material wherever required. We have created almost 400, 500 pages of value addition material, collection of maps, collection of what you call content for art and culture, collection of content for modern history. We have created value addition material which will also act as a supplementary source for you, right? Internet can be used. Right. State PCS would come, other examinations would come. See, there one thing that we're expecting is that, see, we don't have the bandwidth to give you additional time. We are sitting on August 18th, right? And I don't think you can stretch beyond January for mains-oriented preparation. We only have a small window, right? See, other thing that we expect is that maybe some of you are PSIR students, law optional students, who will have a relatively more advantage on polity. You are probably a geography student who will be able to do the geography part easier. Public administration, I'm assuming there'll be some kind of alignment with polity, right? So that kind of leverage can be done. See, you have to understand that we are starting in August 18th. We have this much syllabus to complete, and it will be intensive. We don't have a way around it. And since it is intensive, it will be difficult also. It will be very likely you will face challenges to complete these assignments from day one itself, right? Huh. You are late. You're definitely late because, again, most probably, when did prelims happen? End of May. We have completed June, July, almost 3 weeks of August, 2.5 months. And you're sitting here because you may not have been able to make the best use of the last 2.5 months, right? Or because you had a similar experience in the earlier years. We are late, but we have created the plan in such a way that it's intensive. In batch 1, we had the luxury to provide a break every week. But in batch 2, we don't even have that luxury. We have made it intensive. It is late. I don't think I'll lie, right? You know, I consider it as a little late. But it's like that Japanese proverb, no? Like, you know, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now, right? Today is as good as any day to start, right? But when you're starting this out, go home and take a commitment towards yourself that, you know, I'll do this 5 hours of work, right? You know, irrespective of whatever happens, consistency is the key. If you're able to do this, believe me, you will see progress, not because you have joined Next IAS or not because you have done AIM, because you're sitting and working every day 5 hours, right? We're basically charging you fees to force you to sit and study. If I have to summarize this, if it's an elevator pitch of this program, right? We have created a program which will take money from you and force you to study and give you micro targets on a daily basis. But there's a demand for something like this because it's very difficult to stay motivated. It's extremely distracting, right? I think average number of times that you pick up a phone in a day is 150. Look at the count in your phone. That's 100 to 150 times you pick up the phone. You check your WhatsApp. You are doom scrolling. We all do this. We start looking at the phone at 12 o'clock in the night and it's already 2 o'clock, right? And then the next day, first half of the day is gone. So it's much more difficult at this point of time to prepare as a student. Also because there is countless number of strategies, countless number of new shining things, new Telegram channels. Every topper has a YouTube video. So it's extremely distractive also in the sense that there are way too many strategies, right? I'm not refuting or saying that that is wrong and we are right. Everything has its merit and demerit, but as a student, you can only concentrate on one idea and stick to that idea. Like that Bruce Lee wala quote, no? That I'm not afraid of a guy who has 1,000 techniques. I'm afraid of a guy who does one punch 1,000 times. You just do this. You just stick to making notes. See, the basics are very simple. Notes, and practice of answers and practice of MCQs. This is what it is. This is what it comes down to. So we have made much more intensive components of this, right? So the surprise test is the only way we have considered at this point of time, because once we complete polity by, let's say, September 2nd week or 3rd week, we don't have polity coming before February. But we'll try to throw in 1 or 2 surprise tests, which will be a combination of these subjects in between. If you were doing it otherwise also, I don't know whether you will have a, a provision to come back to every subject at any point of time. Considering the fact that we are starting in August, we don't have the bandwidth to pull you back. We can always give you question papers we have a massive collection of question papers you can write, you can practice. We'll do something about it. We'll create a couple of surprise tests in between, randomly, right?
The additional material will get with the booklets itself.
All digital. Booklets, calendar are the only things which is in physical format. Students who are in the online mode will be couriered. You can expect a week's timeline because we are writing. It will be in PDF. PDF. Everything will be in PDF, right? See, what you can see, it depends upon where you're coming from also, right? You know, if you're coming from far away, I will say that, you know, you should come on a particular day in a week and show the mentor, take an appointment and show the mentor all the assignments that you've done in that week. Because every day coming would not be practical and would not be advisable also. What else? That was provided, but that was conducted in February. March. Two exams were conducted, and nobody took it seriously at that point of time. Number of people who came to write the test were also significantly less. We gave scholarship to 60 students, and almost 40 students were 100%. But that was the last time that we did that. Right? We did not do that after that. Right? There's no going to be a scholarship test. Most likely not next year also. Right? Because it's intensive. It's not possible for us to do it. Right? What else? That will happen in February. Right. Because I think you have 6 days of assignments, you have 14 hours of video, you have so much to consume. I think it should be provided at a time which will be closer to the examination. Feb, March, April, May, that's what we think would be more effective. Right. Solutions will be provided.
Yes, sir. So will that be similar for CSAT as well? The CSAT question will start.
I'll confirm regarding that because we have a program running. We'll try to provide you access to the videos, but I'm not committing it right now. But tests for CSAT will start from November. Right. Right. No, we are expecting you to commit 5 to 6 hours for this program, and we are expecting that you have 4 to 5 hours remaining that you can invest on other things. Right. So you'll have, because we can't come up with a uniform plan because there will be maths optional guys who will need more time. There will be philosophy which may need lesser time. Like it's not a uniform crowd. Right. And okay, I think one more thing that I wanted to do is day. Right. Ideal timeline we are expecting is 9 hours. Right. There may be people who are able to pull in more than this, but if you're able to pull in 9 hours, I usually see it as 3 slots of 3 hours, right? So 1 3-hour for optional, 1 3-hour plus 1.5 hour or 2 hours for GS, and 1 hour for current affairs. This is the expectation. You can play with this, right? You can try with different models. You can go for 90 minutes, 30 minutes break, then 90 minutes. This has 1 slot, right? Then take a 2 hours break, then again keep repeating this in 3 slots. Try different combinations. I don't think anybody can sit consistently for 3 hours and expect to have high productivity. I think scientifically the highest amount of time that you can stay focused is 90 minutes, right? If you can sit for 90 minutes, take a break of 20, 30 minutes, then sit for 90 minutes, then take a bigger break. Maybe that's when you can probably do your lunch or whatever else you want to do, right? Then another slot like this, then another slot like this. This will take what, 3.5, 3 slots of 3.5, what, 10.5 hours, 3 slots of 6, 2 hours, 16.5. You're still left with 7.5, 8 hours to sleep. It looks very easy on the board, right? But to do would be very difficult. But I'm assuming create some kind of systems, and believe me, you will fail, right? There's very high chance you will falter, and create processes that will pull you back into this. Create good systems that will pull you back in. Create the kind of things that is distracting you, right? What are you most distracted towards, you know? You have to be brutally selfish. If I look at, if I have to identify a couple of things that I've noticed among toppers who have secured good ranks, many of them have analog phones, right? They don't have smartphones. Taking out smartphone from your life during the preparation phase will add 2 hours more to your life every day to your preparation. Very easy, because everything that we are doing now is on telegrams, and I think I'm contradicting myself also, because we have a telegram channel to communicate things, and I'm asking you to do analog phones. But smartphones have a tendency to distract you and do other things that you're not expected to do. You are the average of the 5 people that you meet and interact with every day. How many of you have watched this comedy on YouTube, Bussy, UPSC? Right? You get what I'm saying, right? You should surround yourself with a serious crowd, people who wants to clear it, people who, if you have the right peer group, that itself will take a long way. We have seen people who, strong groups of 3, 4 people who clear this examination, right? Be brutally selfish. Learn to say no. It's very easy to say this, but if the moment you learn to say no, people who are calling you for movies, people who are calling you for tea, say no. Just dedicate 1 year to this particular program or to this initiative, right? Because I want you to look back 10 years from now and tell people that, you know, this was the time when I worked hardest in my life. From 2023 August to 2024 September. It's just a matter of 13 months. If you're able to crack it, great. But at least you can be content, because for me, after the first 5 years of not clearing the last mains, every time I hear that ting sound, no, when you search PDF, when you search the PDF document of the results, when you search your roll number and when you don't get it, there's a sound. That used to haunt, like, you know, every time when you hear that, it reminds you of all the things that you did not do. And every time the results comes, your relatives will call you, right? You know, is baar nahi diya hai kya, right? You'll have people who is constantly looking for your failure, right? So this 13 months, let's give everything. We have very really invested in this program. My career is at stake, right? I have thrown everything that I could do, right? And from mid-September, we will have more hands. I'll have more time, because right now we have the last 3 weeks of mains, so we have a lot of mains appearing candidates to cater to. But you will have mentors starting you from tomorrow itself, right? But from mid-September, I'll also be available. And we'll do something about prelims. We'll try some new innovative ideas for prelims, because everybody sitting here has failed prelims at least once, right? So we will try for prelims, we'll try for CSAT. Let's have the notes. Let's have the answer writing practice. Before you write the mains in 2024, 1,000 answers. Before you appear for prelims in 2023, notes should be ready. So that next year, your roommate should look at you and feel jealous that, you know, ye kaise kar raha hai, right? How are they able to revise? How are they able to write such good answers? Already in batch 1, we have students who are writing better answers than people who are appearing for mains this year. I'm sure I can send them to write mains now, because they have already written in last 3 weeks, 3 months, so much, right? Anything else? I'll again communicate certain timelines, right? 1, Sunday, you can collect the workbooks, calendar, whatever. Online students will be couriered the books. There may be a gap of 1 week for you to receive this. Meanwhile, we'll share you the PDF of the first 2 weeks so that you can use that to fulfill your assignments, right? Second, you can collect the prelims PYQ book along with your workbooks on Sunday. The mains PYQ book stock has finished. It's coming in another week, right? So you'll get a last 5 years mains PYQ, you will get prelims PYQ, you will get the workbooks, and you'll get current affairs magazine, but it'll be in the PDF format. It'll be provided to you in the Telegram groups. I'm exploring an idea whether we can give you the physical format, maybe at a concessionary rate also, right? Maybe it's at half the price or something where you can collect it, right? And I am accessible. Most of you can come and meet me. I'm usually on the first floor, right? Next 1 month, I may have a limited accessibility, but after that, I'll be completely on this, right? Anything that we can, we'll constantly send feedback forms also. So wherever you're feeling an issue, do communicate to us, right? Wherever you feel there is a scope for improvement, wherever you have good suggestions on what we can implement. We've already taken some good suggestions from batch 1 and we have implemented it. Whatever we can practically do, we will do, right? And make sure you do this, right? Don't carry forward from day 1 to day 2. Whatever it takes. Those 5 questions, finish it on that day. Those assessment tests, write it that week, right? Doesn't matter whether you're fully prepared or not, but just go and write. Nobody's judging you, right? Except the mentor, right? Rest of it doesn't matter, right? So just keep writing the test, just keep making the assignments. Rest will follow. Initially, it won't make sense, but the big picture will shape out because the moment you write 200 themes from polity, you will be all of a sudden more intelligent than anyone around you. So I have students who come and say that, you know, when we are discussing things in the room, I am the smartest in the room now because I have more consolidated, relevant, fortified content with me, right? So that's it. Thank you so much for your time. I'm really looking forward to engaging with you guys, right? Give your best. Again and again, I'm saying, right? Just stick to it. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Prelims time.